Okay, my project is bike revolution, and this is my table of contents. I will talk about all of these in this presentation, and mainly focus on the analysis of Oakland urban area, because this is my site selection. So currently, many cities are pursuing livable cities. Livable city, as urban mobility connects different pieces of urban life. The livable city, the livability of cities rely on the quality of urban mobility. But the reality is the world's population is increasingly city-based. According to Little 2011, population in urban area is expected to increase from 3.5 billion to 6.3 billion. Consists 70% of the global population by 2050, and the total amount of urban kilometers traveled is expected to triple because of urban sprawl. And the increase of car ownership leads to the increase of fossil fuel dependency and travel congestion, which has negative effect on environment and society. These results will consequently lead to a rapid decrease of our quality of life. The existing urban infrastructure is not good at all for our goal of livable city. Current options of transport includes public transport, electric cars, electric bikes, and human-powered transport. After compared these transport options, except human-powered transport, other options can benefit environment, cannot reduce car ownership effectively. So, do we need a sustainable transport option? The answer is definitely positive, and bicycle is the best choice. In next section, we will see 3 theories of city planning used by different cities and some bicycle plans and strategies. Because urban infrastructure is a part of city planning, study the theory of city planning is necessary for us to design high-quality infrastructure for cities. After compared 3 popular theories of city planning, new urbanism, the compact city, and Youngell's human-centered urbanism, and after studied many successful city planning projects such as Copenhagen, New York's Midtown Improvement, and Melbourne's city center redevelopment, Youngell's human-centered urbanism has been proved to be a practical theory for sustainable urban planning, especially for promoting cycling in Oakland, a car-dominant city where cycling culture barely exists. Now let's see some bicycle plans and strategies from different cities. In the municipal development plan for 1997, Copenhagen introduced a new concept of green bicycle routes, link existing network with low traffic volume routes through parks and open green area. Then in 2000, the city released a proposal for a network of 22 green bicycle routes with a total length of 110 kilometers and at a total estimated cost of $500 million. The city hopes that the recreational and enhanced safety qualities of this network will attract certain groups of the population that currently use cars on trips to and from work, especially those with a 5 to 10 kilometers commute. And in 2001, Copenhagen formulated its first bicycle strategy with the publishing of Cycle Policy 2002 to 2012 as a way to prioritize cycling in city planning. Cycling reached 41% by 2004 for residents living within the city of Copenhagen. And in 2007, the city approved and released an action plan for safe bicycle traffic 2007 to 2012, with the goal of reducing the number of accidents by 50% compared to 1996. The plan identified 20 especially dangerous intersections in the city that would be rebuilt at a rate of 3 per year. From 1980s until 2010, the network of cycle tracks and paths within the city of Copenhagen has almost doubled in length, and 21% of all trips were done on bicycle by 2011. On the 1st of December 2011, the Municipal Council adopted the new cycling strategy, Good, Better, Best, the City of Copenhagen's bicycle strategy, 2011 to 2025, which aims to make Copenhagen the world's best city to cycle in. And in Melbourne's bicycle plan 2012 to 2016 focuses on creating a strong bicycle network and improving links between existing routes, particularly in the central city, and encouraging people of all ages and abilities to take up cycling or cycle more frequently for local trips. And bicycle plan 2016 to 2020 keeps creating local neighborhood routes, improving connections into and through city center. However, though Auckland also has planned to spend a lot of money on cycle project, increasing cycle facilities, even on marketing, training, and behavior change programs. As far as I know, most of bicycle project Auckland Council has done are painting bike lanes through high traffic volume routes or bicycle superhighways like Nelson Street Light Path Cycleway and bicycle lanes on Upper Harbour Drive, and the Glen Innes to Tamaki Drive Shared Path project, which was recommended by Claire Maggie, the person work in AT, when I asked for some bicycle project recommendations. These projects do have influence on increasing numbers of cyclists, but the effect is limited. Auckland Council is doing what Copenhagen did after 2007. Well, the differences between two of them are citizens in Copenhagen had already accepted bicycle as a primary form of transportation at that time, and citizens in Auckland still love cars now. So my project is based on human-centered urbanism and Auckland's long-standing tradition of outdoor activity, focus on shifting car-dominant culture into bicycle culture via bicycle paths for recreational use, inviting people to cycling, giving Aucklanders a chance to adapt the new way of using the city, creating a coherent network of bicycle routes through parks and other green open areas, or along quiet streets with low traffic volumes, to supplement the existing network centered around busy corridors with high volume vehicle traffic. There are 5 road types in cities: freeways, arterials, and major collectors, minor collectors, local roads, and parkways. Traffic congestion always happens on freeways and major arterial roads, barely happened on minor collectors, local roads, and parkways. In addition, research shows that people hit by a vehicle traveling at 40 miles per hour have 80% death risk. 30 miles per hour have 40% death risk, and 20 miles per hour have 10% or 5% death risk. And the speed limits on these three road types are mostly lower than the minor collectors, local roads, and parkways. These three road types are mostly lower than 40 kilometers per hour, which means traveling by human-powered vehicle on these types of roads are safer than on freeways and arterial roads. This makes my project more feasible, and by linking existing road network, we will not only make bicycle traveling for recreational purpose safer, but also give people traveling for commuting purpose a flexible choice to avoid traffic congestion. And speed limits of vehicles also have influence on choice of bicycle lanes types. The Copenhagen Bicycle Planning Guide, which is also used in bicycle lanes project in Melbourne, shows that separated lanes are used only when car speed exceed 50 kilometers per hour. Between 10 to 30 kilometers per hour, there is no separation, and from 30 to 50 kilometers per hour, they use painted lanes. Next section is analysis of Auckland urban area, and after analyzing Auckland urban area, I will choose an appropriate site for my design project. Firstly, I would talk about the bikeable catchment. The 800-meter circle has become accepted as representing a convenient 10-minute walk for most people in a community, based on a walk speed 1.3 meters per second across the journey and including minor delays. Bicycle speed is 18 kilometers per hour on average. 10-minute cycling is 3 kilometers. So bikeable catchment is a 3 kilometers radius circle. Well, this is of course a normative average journey. When gradient over 10%, walking speed will reduce by 15% or more. Perceived safety, route quality, and interest and land use attractors are also critical, as walking and cycling are both human activities. All these factors will probably have influence on the range of bikeable catchment too. Bars, restaurants, and shops are located on community centers. So I found out several popular community centers by compare the density of bars, restaurants, and shops in Auckland urban area. Then use these community centers as centers of bikeable catchment. The map shows that community centers on North Shore, Albany, and Takapuna are isolated from others. So are those on South area, Papakura, Manukau, Otahuhu. Community centers in the middle of the Auckland urban area looks much more connected than others. In addition, in Contour's map, The middle of Oakland urban area is flatter than other areas, so using this connected backbone catchment area as the beginning of the bike network project will be an easier start and will get better results. Now we have Oakland CBD, New Market, Ponsonby, Mount Albert, New Lynn, Glen Eden, and Henderson. However, in fact, these catchments are flying catchments. They are ideal backbone catchment. Bicycle trips must through roads. Real catchment won't be this large. So in order to make my analysis more reliable, I made a couple of other maps to show real bikeable catchments in each area. And when I finished, I put them back in Oakland urban area map. As you can see, Ponsonby, CBD, and New Market are mostly connected with each other. Among three areas, New Market is the most flat area, and a well-connected bicycle network in New Market would probably impact CBD and CBD because high density of well-connected bicycle network in New Market, the high density of transport intersections and shops, bars, and restaurants will encourage pedestrian and biking activity. So I choose New Market as my design site. And in this map, the map on the right side. In this map, red area is business area, green area is open green area, and other area is residential area and schools. In short distance trip, most purpose are shopping and recreation. As we can see, most of business areas are around the transport intersections or along arterial roads, which always occur traffic congestion. If people can reach these business areas through bicycle paths on local roads and parkways, avoid traffic congestion, there would be possibly more people like cycling, and more people start to consider cycling as a good choice of transportation. And this is the beginning of shifting travel behavior and building bike-friendly culture. After decided the site of my project, there's my design goals. My design of bicycle network focuses on enhancing connection and safety. The first, connection, means I will design a coherent bicycle network in New Market, connect community centers, residential area, and green open area with off-street bicycle routes or bicycle pedestrian shared paths through low traffic volume streets. When we look at the cities, the bike routes of cities on map, Melbourne bicycle routes, London bicycle network, and Amsterdam bicycle routes, and this is Oakland. The middle of Oakland urban area is relatively flat and suitable for creating bike network, but has few bicycle routes, and they are not connected at all. This means we do have a huge potential to develop a coherent bicycle network in Oakland, and at the meantime, we also have a lot of gaps in network need to be filled with appropriate designs. The second, enhance bicycle facilities safety quality. This includes cyclists' physical safety and perceived sense of safety. To achieve this goal, traffic calming measures are important, including narrowed roads and speed bumps, reducing motor vehicles traffic and improving safety of cyclists and pedestrians. Well, in order to improve safety, there are a lot of things need to be considered, like minimizing cars parking area on the side of the roads, creating more pedestrian, bicycle shared paths or off-street bike paths, and reduce conflicts between different types of road users on intersections and so on. I'll make a comprehensive design as possible as I can. Well, there's no one-size-fits-all bicycle network design strategy. Future design will focus on particular conditions in new market and make appropriate bicycle plan to achieve my design goals. So that's it. Thank you.
There's a bicycle.
Yeah. Keep calm and enjoy biking. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nemo. So questions, please. So this is the second workshop, so roughly halfway through the project. Halfway through the
Anyways, can you remind us of your question?
Yeah.
What?
What's your question?
research question.
The
Research question. How to create a coherent network, bicycle network in Auckland and provide sustainable mobility, urban mobility.
And you've selected one, Newmarket, is that your
Site.
that's your site, Newmarket?
Because in a way, Newmarket can help to connect this network that you showed that it's not connected. Or why did you choose Newmarket?
Yes, that's
Because
my
you
question.
talk,
Because I draw the bikeable catchment, like Newmarket, CBD, and Ponsonby is the most connected area. So if I design a network, coherent network in Newmarket, so I can influence on the other side,
So it's
other
political.
area. Pardon?
It's a political consideration.
Yeah, this is only a start, because bike revolution need a start.
Yeah, no,
No.
that's the word I was looking
Yeah.
for. So I've got my Green Party hat on. Okay.
How do you mean when you say the sustainable? Like, what do you mean by sustainable?
Sustainable.
Like in this context.
Sustainable is it's like I compare the several options like electric, like at the beginning, the options sustainable form.
Okay.
Like the electric cars, electric bikes, they are the most popular sustainable form now. And after compare this, because electric cars and electric bikes, they use cheaper powered energy, renewable energy. There looks like there are no pollution on locals, but they might have pollutions overseas or somewhere because they use electric.
Okay. I guess I'm just questioning the use of the word sustainable in there because I as in the question, I guess. I don't know if anyone feels the same.
Sorry, what was that last?
I'm just questioning the word sustainable, like, you know, so you want to create cycleway connections or the question. I'm trying to find. Is there a question written somewhere? I can look at it. The question.
Not here.
Not here, not yet. Okay. So I'm just trying to wonder, like, the relevance of the word sustainable in your question, because for me it doesn't quite fit with what you're trying to do. I'm struggling with it.
Maybe another way to put it
Yeah.
is you used a lot of words, a lot of data. It's all good. I think that's important. You've kind of gone. I drew you a bit of a pizza here on this thing. You went global, national, regional, local, which is great. So man, we've got the heavenly picture of the data. I was just asking around how does that translate? I'm a picture person. So where's case studies? So there's one there. So that's about it. There's the first bike I saw. Where's the case? I suppose showing us some real world case studies.
Oh yeah,
Illustrations,
they are in
pictures.
The, previous workshops, I show the like American. Which one?
Okay.
You had Denmark, I think,
Yeah.
as well.
I show a lot of
Melbourne.
case studies
Oh, you did?
in the
Right.
previous workshops, so I think that this time I will just focus on my analysis.
Analysis.
Um,
Okay.
Because it is important, like, what do you take out of these case studies? Because they say we have a lot of data, so I think it's good, it's interesting as well. But they say, what do you take from there? So I think in one point you said something that was quite interesting, that you said that what Auckland is doing now is the same that Copenhagen did in 2007, but with the difference that they already had a different perspective of bikes in the street, and people are more friendly to share the space with the bikes. So I think it is an interesting question. How do you change that perception? How do they change that perception in Copenhagen? I'm not saying that this should be your research question. Your research question is your research question, but this is a sub research question that will help you to say kind of, okay, what do we take from that data?
Yeah,
Because we're talking about Copenhagen, we're talking about Melbourne, great examples. But so take one or two aspects. So for me, this one caught my attention when you said it. I said, wow, interesting. How do they change that perception? And I think it's exactly what we have to do here. So it's one of the important things. Do you understand?
Because all I get from all the facts is just the way I'm also a visual person. All I get from those facts is they did it then, we're going to do it now, and that's kind of how I feel like. And that, to me, that was very long. I don't think we needed to hear all the facts, but that's just how I think. Is that I know, they did it then, we need to do it now. So let's get into it. Let's start it. Let's really get into this problem and open it up. And also, we've got I know you mentioned it, but we've got such a different terrain from everyone else. We've got so much undulation. And what I mean, this is not at you, but what those circles tell me is that they don't tell me, when you lie a circle on the terrain we have, as a runner, I know that the difference, it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes can be such a difference when you've got a hill in there as well. So,
and I noticed you threw in Lincoln Road, one of the busiest roads in New Zealand. You take a life in your hand when you take a bike, let alone a car, down that road.
And working with greenways and cycleway connections at the moment all over Auckland, I can tell you they may look connected on that scale, but they're not at all connected. And in some places, the ones that look so far apart actually are way more connected, because there's a cycleway connection along the causeway, and that actually makes them connected. So it's hard to see that at that scale. When you drill right down to human scale, things can appear way more connected.
Which takes us on to for me, referring to myself as a fat ass sitting in my car, driving around everywhere, feeling really guilty of negative carbon, being a negative carbon contributor to my environment. I hate that. I really do. Yeah,
get on my
I'm
back.
a hypocrite. So yeah, that's your job.
Yeah.
So your job is to show in parallel, which I don't see here yet, alongside these pros, and show it to me. I think there are other realities to do with the geography. The Northwestern doesn't even have a train, so you've got this little cycleway where cyclists are tripping over people all the time going down that narrow causeway over the Northwestern motorway. There has been an increase in it, but the reality is we also need a train. We need some sort of way in which to take the cyclists some of the way to connect up to these other cycleways. So again, I come back to there's a bit of a, it's not just the cycling. I think you need to look at some of the other things that go with that. Just to say paint a strip on the road and let's all fall in love with cycling. The reality has been painted by your radius is something else. It's almost like the tidiness of theory doesn't match the messiness of reality. And that messiness of reality, we all want to cycle. I want to cycle, but I need help. It's not just the cycle. I need a train and I need a bus to get me to some of those localities, so then I can get off on my bike. And at the moment, that's a real headache. That's a real issue. Like, so we don't even have a monorail on the Northwestern to connect that up. You've got to go all the way through the burbs of Glen Eden and Swanson and whatnot to have that. All right. So I'd like to see in your research how are you going to answer that through design. So you've got a method. Where's the design? Look forward to seeing it.
Yeah.
So Nemo, your intention is to find a site in Auckland, like a case study?
A site,
Site.
design site.
A site. You would find a site. And you can apply this methodology to the site. Is that
Just use that site as an example, so you can get a better results through the whole Auckland network.
And the metrics around that, how do you know you're going to be successful? How do you know your design is going to work?
It's just can't find a.
Is it because this new cycle track will connect up things that haven't been connected? Will that be a success? Make it successful?
What I'm doing now is just to try to find a way to shifting the trip behavior of people, because Aucklanders are not like just want to drive around.
We're getting Stephen out of his car. That's what you wanted to do.
I hold it.
So how are you going to measure that? If that's your question, how are you going to measure it? How do you know you're going to get Stephen out of your car by doing your design?
First of all, my design is the bike routes are through the low traffic volume routes. So, and few of them have traffic congestions. So if I link the arterial roads with these low traffic volume routes, people can have a choice to bike to get on a bike.
Nah.
So
He's not going to figure
No.
out a film.
Stephen won't.
Boring. Cafe. I want a cafe along that cycle route. I want a bike that I don't own that I can just grab one out of the thing and ride off.
And a bike rack.
Can we have a bike rack? Yeah.
As I said, these routes are not the only linked arterial roads. It's about the community center, the bars, restaurants, shops along the arterial roads. Because the business area are most along these arterial roads, but
And are those bikeways along the same arterial routes as the cars?
cars are
And
dominant on these roads.
No, in your future
Right.
idea, you know, you showed that little circle in Copenhagen, how they
Yep.
separated out. They had at a particular speed, bikes and cars were completely separated. At another speed, they weren't separated because there was less danger. At another
Yeah.
speed, they were, you know, partial kind of. And that was a speed relationship that you showed. Is there a similar sort of thing that you can frame up for Auckland?
Yeah, I need to choose the bike lanes types based on the speed limits, because for the safety concerns, and from now on I'm more focused on the local roads, which most of them are a bicycle shared paths now. Because they didn't mark the bicycle lanes on the roads, and but actually they are vehicle paths, not bicycle paths, because people in Auckland deeply believe that a car is dominant on roads.
So,
There's many cyclists just biking on the sidewalks. They are not
Yeah.
they are not brave to.
Does that include you? Do you cycle?
Yeah,
Okay, so your bike's out here.
I have bikes.
Cool.
Used to have bikes,
Interesting.
and it's broken.
Okay.
So
Oh, okay.
It's not a sustainable bike.
So I would ride a bike with the whānau to Newmarket if Newmarket Broadway was gone. Rip that out. Get rid of that in your proposition. And what's that whole experience? By the way, this Australian pre-car strip front Westfields crap. Let's take that opportunity to reinvigorate the boutique idea of you, based completely around the idea maybe of bicycles. So screw the car. What's it like to take the bike to that shop? A bit like, was it Paradisimo or something in France, where that's what they do. You take your bike there and it's all kind of gestured. Everything's gestured around that experience. I'm interested in that. All this waffle about compliance and stuff I don't hear. What I'm interested in your idea, your design of converting Newmarket, get rid of Broadway because I can go around Gillies Ave, and convert that to a whole cycle drive-in gig. I'm in. I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll go from Henderson to Newmarket for that. Sorry.
Bicycle hub.
All the rest of the blah blah, yeah, all good, but just do it. Do a Newmarket thing and have some fun.
I guess what we're trying to say is how. So you've got a problem. You've got this issue. You know, getting people out of cars, getting people on bikes. It's all good. We understand all that. We understand there's a whole precedent overseas of how to do it. We understand you're going to get a kind of a case study. So how are you going to show that it works?
in my design
In your
future.
design, so your design, yeah.
The difficulty of the kind of the way that you're framing it right now is that you say you're trying to encourage more people to ride bikes, and what Matthew's asking about, you know, how do you prove that? Well, really, you can't. You can't say with a design that, look, I did this, therefore everyone's gonna, all of us are gonna stop driving. We're just gonna get on a bike and start doing that.
Unless it becomes some kind of questionnaire thing or something, which you don't.
No.
You're going to go to the
Yeah.
website.
And even then, you know, the question is, people will just lie on. Yeah, of course I'd ride a bike. No, I won't.
Oh, you drink a glass
Yeah.
of wine, right?
That's right. So maybe it's about framing it up slightly differently. You know, it's about it is about that one route. What's the experience along that route? And if you can change that experience, or maybe what if you have, you know, there's bike share programs. They're getting really big in the US right now, and those sorts of things. Maybe there's a New Zealand version of that, an Auckland version of that, where each little community, like, you know, has a special type of bike. You know, you have the Newmarket bikes, and Newmarket bikes have fancy little carriages on the front built into them, so you can actually do the shopping. Whereas the Mount Albert bikes are different. They've got a
Wow.
they've got a kind of a different design and a different kind of, and they're identifiable and they're interesting. And people that come along both get the functionality that you add to these bikes, but also the kind of, I don't know, something interesting about it. It becomes an experience of getting on that bike in that neighborhood with that, you know. And there is a unique thing. You don't need to prove that it's going to, you know, but I think that people might sit back here and go, that's kind of interesting. I
You
might
can
do that.
have a look on New York's bike plan and all the redevelopment of the center. If they close some streets there, so if you are talking about maybe change, you know, the use of certain streets, limited the passage of cars on some streets. They did that in New York. It was very successful, but also for them to close a street in the center of Manhattan.
Yeah, I've seen that example, that a case study in New York. They just close down the highways, and interestingly, the car ownership, the car usage are decreased.
Yeah. No, I say, but not just the highway, but I say the small streets in the downtown Manhattan. And so I think it would be interesting to have a look at that.
Yeah.
What's the reaction? What people have been writing about?
And I mean, in that sort of situation, it kind of coincided with the new parks along the edge. So there were more locations, more places to visit. You know, when I was in New York, that's exactly what I did. Got on a city bike there and went from stock market to, you know, coastal edge to, and you could just do it like that, and it was easy, and you didn't have to be in a taxi or in a car.
Thing, eh?
And it was awesome. How to get around New York and Manhattan, where you otherwise can't. But you're within a little local area, though. I couldn't, you know, explore all of Manhattan. It would be too hard. So, you know, your local footprint is important, where you can get to.
Interesting. There's a whole thing here on this. It really is, eh?
Yeah.
As we're going up too with our mixed use, our apartments, office, retail, you know, we're as an architect, I'm pushing all the time to be pro cycle and rack up the racks, the bike racks, and the skate racks and scooter racks. Those are in our discussions, you know, and we're putting those into competitions currently. So you're right on cue. But let's go. We need it now. All the guff, great. But just give us your metric, give us your method, the design.
As we are here, can you go back one slide, please? I didn't understand this one.
Yeah.
I say
I wanted to understand
Or
it.
is the same?
Yes.
One say positive
Car
social
owner.
effects, the other one say negative social effects. So how does it work, that thing? Do you need this thing there?
Yeah, get rid of it.
What's
Oh.
say? More. It's about car ownership there.
Do you know what I'd like to see?
There is a
I'd like to see you on a bike in some of those scenarios. Rather than picture words, just get rid of the words. Put you on a bike, get someone to take a photo of you in some of those scenarios, then put the titles to it or something. Let's get
Yeah.
So just to interrupt, Esther has to go back to the factory. Good afternoon. So just really like to thank Esther very much for
Yeah,
coming
kia
on.
ora.
It's been really fantastic. Thank you.
nice to meet you.
And good luck. This is neat. I'm really excited about seeing where you come up with all of you. So
No, thank you.
thank you.
So just a couple more minutes and then we'll have some. Was that a summary?
This is about why we need a sustainable urban mobility.
No, I think
Why is necessary?
people understand, you know, what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
That it's more defense support for the idea that we need to move to bikes. But you know, like you're hearing here, we all want to be on bikes, but we also want to be driving. We just want to get to places nice and efficiently. We don't need proof that being on bikes would be less damaging to the environment. We can kind of see that, but we see the advantages of the other things. So how do you make it attractive? How do you make it this? How do you make it unique? How do you make it an experience? How do you make it all these other things that we've just been talking about? People aren't going to get out of the car because you say, you know, let's just quantify all of the positive and negative effects and find out.
Game.
Yep, no, we've proved it now. You're going to get out of your car?
Yeah, this kind of graphics doesn't say much more. It's kind of all arrows going up, arrows going down. It doesn't really help.
Yeah.
It's better to express it.
You. Put you in there. Show us. Lead the way.
Okay. Yep. Thanks very much for those.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome.
That's great. And